MECCHA CHAMELEON is an online hide-and-seek party game built around painting yourself into the scenery. Indie titles like this rarely have macOS support, and this one is no exception, so I had to use alternatives to run it on my Mac. Now the methods I tried, and that worked for me to help you pick the one that would best fit your preferences and setup. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. The first one is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Boosteroid is an important option here, mostly because MECCHA CHAMELEON does not have many clean alternatives on Mac right now. The game is not a massive open world title and its system requirements are beyond modest, but it does need clean rendering, stable motion, and very readable colors, because the whole point is blending into the map without giving yourself away. Cloud gaming helps because your Mac is not doing the local compatibility work. You just stream the Windows version, keep the visuals clean, and avoid the launcher quirks that affect CrossOver. More on that in a moment. Yes, there's the usual caveat that if your connection gets unstable, compression blur can make both hiding and spotting players harder. But this is still the most sensible option for most people, especially those looking for a hassle-free solution that works straight out of the box. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. CrossOver is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. CrossOver is the recommended local option, and despite some launcher quirks, after you apply the respective fixes, it becomes genuinely viable. Based on the available reports and my own experience with the method, the game does run through D3 D-Metal and multiplayer works once the broken launcher check is bypassed. On my M3 Max MacBook Pro, I got stable 60 FPS at high settings, so there was no need to lower the graphics whatsoever. I'll admit there was some occasional jank, stutters caused by the translation process, but I was bearable, and it didn't diminish my enjoyment of the game. As for a baseline Mac that I'd recommend for this game, I'd want at least an Apple Silicon Mac with 8 GB, though 16 GB gives you more breathing room. The big limitations here are not raw power, but the launcher issue I'll talk about in a bit, and some possible rendering weirdness. But most of these can be overcome, so I still recommend CrossOver as a viable method for MECCHA CHAMELEON. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use CrossOver, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install CrossOver, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with CrossOver can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. The main CrossOver problem for this game is the visual C++ message that appears when you launch the game normally. The important detail is that this seems tied to the launcher, not the actual game executable. To fix it, open the Steam properties from MECCHA CHAMELEON and use the Launch Options field to point Steam directly at the real shipping executable inside the game folder. That lets Steam keep the right authentication context while skipping the broken launcher check. After that, make sure the bottle is using D3 D-Metal and keep MSync enabled. This should fix most issues you are likely to encounter with CrossOver. Now, these are rarely needed for most Macs, but if you are on a weaker machine with only 8 gigs of memory and still want to play it, I suggest applying the next optimizations for improved performance. Start with the graphics quality and set it to medium and only lower the resolution if matches still feel uneven. Keep the frame limit sensible at 60, which gives the best balance. You can also lower the effects quality and reflection, but keep shadows and texture quality at high or at least medium, because those are important for spotting hiding players or for painting yourself accurately. The other methods are a variation of this theme. AirGPU is the rent a gaming PC by the hour option. You buy credit, spin up a Windows machine, then stream it through Parsec or Moonlight. You pay by the hour and prices vary depending on what machine you rent, but the average is around $1. Then you also need to pay for local storage, which is $3.50 per month per 50 gigabytes with a minimum of 100 gigs. Shadow PC is the subscription version of the same idea, where the lowest monthly subscription fee is $34 for US users, and it only goes up from there. EU users get a cheaper plan option that costs €20 per month, but that's still more than twice the monthly fee for Boosteroid's base plan. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of CrossOver. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I choose between the realistic options. Boosteroid is the easiest recommendation since it's the most streamlined and gives you direct access to the game with no need for troubleshooting. The trade-off is that your internet quality matters a lot, because if your connection is slower or laggier, the resulting stream image compression can make camouflage harder to read. CrossOver is the best local route, but only after you apply the fixes I mentioned. Pick it if you want lower latency, no cloud subscription, and the ability to play without depending on a streaming server. Just understand that this is not a perfect plug-and-play game yet. You need the launcher bypass, and even then you'll still get occasional jank. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of CrossOver, but it requires even more tinkering. When it works, it gives the same performance as CrossOver, but takes more time and effort to set up and is generally a much more hands-on solution. Shadow PC and AirGPU are both decent options for this game, and their flexibility means you can customize the entire experience to fit your exact hardware preferences. However, the end result won't be that much different compared to Boosteroid, and their steeper pricing makes them overkill for a lightweight game such as MECCHA CHAMELEON. My simple recommendation is Boosteroid for most players, CrossOver if you want local play and can apply the fixes, and Sikarugir only if you enjoy tinkering and want the free option. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.